Now, our next topic is story of transport. During the ancient time, people had to walk from one place to another place, isn't it? And later on, what happened? People used animals like donkeys, horses, elephants, oxen, dogs, bisons for transportation. The modes of transportation that we came across today were not available in those days. Okay, so people used to take a long time to reach distant places. After the invention of the wheel, men started using animals to pull vehicles that moved on wheels, and thus palak chariots came into existence and made transportation of goods and people much easier. So the invention of steam engine again introduced a new source of power. The development of trains greatly reduced the time taken to travel from one place to another. Now we can travel to any place within a couple of hours, isn't it? After that, later on, petrol and diesel engines were invented. It had changed the modes of transportation. Likewise, the time taken to travel distant places was further reduced with the development of aeroplanes. Modern modes of transport are cars, bikes, buses, aeroplanes, trains, which allow us to travel faster than those used in earlier times. Now let's come to our another topic. The topic is Introduction to Measuring. We use a scale to draw margin in our notebook, isn't it? The scale contains some numbers in both sides. So let's have a look on our scale. So we use this kind of scale, isn't it? This kind of scale has what? Numbers in both the sides. So now, similarly, when we observe the collar of our shirt, we find a label with a number on it, isn't it? You must have seen that too. Now, conventional method of measurement. We use the conventional method such as handspan and footspans to measure the length of small objects. Similarly, we measure the string of flowers with the hand, that is cubits. Moreover, strides are used to measure the length and breadth on the ground. Now the story of the scale, how it invented. The invention of scale took many years. Okay, many hundred years ago, people used to measure distance with handspan, footspan or strides. They do not use what? Scale. They were using what? Handspan or footspan or else strides. But it occurred several problems. It can't be accurate, isn't it? People were arguing over measuring the length of the fields, ropes and many other things. Evolution of scale. Considering all the consequences in measuring, some sensible people got together and decided to have a scale of fixed length. This scale was made of wood or metal. In order to measure subunits, they marked this scale with several smaller but equal divisions. It was decided to use this scale to measure the length. So at a place, people decided to use this distance between the nose and tip of the middle finger of their king as a measure. Okay. So this distance was called as what? Yard. Wood or metal was used to make the scales of this 1 yard. The scale was divided into 3 equal parts and each part was called a foot. Okay. So this scale has what? 1 yard. Okay. This scale was again divided into 3 parts. If we divide this scale into 3 parts, each part will be called as what? A foot. Okay. So each foot was further divided into 12 equal parts called inches. Each inch was subdivided into smaller segments. Even then, every country had its own kind of scale, isn't it? Again, they were facing problems in trade and commerce.